The school-to-prison pipeline, a systemic injustice against black students. Introduction. In America, the promise of education as a pathway to success is fundamentally challenged by the pervasive phenomenon known as the school-to-prison pipeline. This insidious system operates within our educational institutions, funneling students, particularly black students, out of classrooms and into the criminal justice system. Defined by harsh disciplinary practices, biased enforcement, and the criminalization of school infractions, the pipeline perpetuates cycles of inequality and denies countless young minds their right to learn and grow in a nurturing environment. Historical context and policy foundations. The roots of the school-to-prison pipeline trace back to decades of discriminatory policies and societal prejudices. Beginning with the tough-on-crime era of the 1980s and 1990s, policies such as zero tolerance and mandatory sentencing laws reshaped school disciplinary practices. These policies, ostensibly aimed at ensuring safety, instead weaponized school discipline as a tool for exclusion and marginalization, disproportionately affecting black students who are more likely to be targeted and punished harshly for minor transgressions. Mechanisms of harm. Central to the perpetuation of the pipeline are zero-tolerance policies, which mandate severe punishment for a wide range of behaviors, often without consideration of context or individual circumstances. Coupled with biased disciplinary practices that penalize black students at alarming rates for subjective infractions like disrespect or defiance. These policies create a hostile learning environment where students of color are unfairly targeted and pushed toward the juvenile justice system. Moreover, the over-policing of schools through the presence of law enforcement officers, commonly known as school resource officers, SROs, contributes to a climate of fear and surveillance. Rather than fostering a supportive educational environment, the presence of SROs often escalates minor incidents into criminal matters, further entrenching students, especially black students, in the pipeline from school to prison. Impact on educational attainment and social mobility. The consequences of the school-to-prison pipeline extend far beyond disciplinary actions. For black students, the threat of punitive measures and criminalization not only disrupts their academic progress but also undermines their long-term prospects for success. Research consistently shows that students who experience harsh disciplinary measures are more likely to drop out of school, become involved in the criminal justice system, and face diminished economic opportunities. This cycle perpetuates intergenerational poverty and exacerbates racial disparities in educational attainment and social mobility. Calls for reform and systemic change. Addressing the school-to-prison pipeline requires a comprehensive overhaul of policies and practices that perpetuate inequities within our educational system. Meaningful reform must include ending zero-tolerance policies. Replace punitive measures with restorative justice practices that prioritize dialogue, reconciliation, and community building. Investing in supportive resources. Allocate resources for counselors, social workers, and mental health professionals to address underlying issues contributing to behavioral challenges. Eliminating police presence. Remove SROs from schools and redirect funding towards supportive services that foster a safe and inclusive learning environment. Promoting equity and anti-bias training. Provide ongoing training for educators and administrators to recognize and mitigate implicit biases in disciplinary practices. Conclusion. The school-to-prison pipeline represents a profound failure of our educational and justice systems to uphold principles of fairness and equity. By perpetuating racial disparities and denying black students their right to education, this pipeline not only undermines individual potential but also erodes the fabric of our society. Addressing this crisis demands bold action, political will, and a commitment to dismantling systemic barriers that perpetuate injustice. Only through collective effort and advocacy can we create an educational system where every student, regardless of race or background, has the opportunity to thrive and contribute meaningfully to their communities.